What's up, gang? I didn't have everything I needed to do a proper video on the cabinet and the bodywork this weekend, so I figured we'll just take a step back. Let's go over everything that was wrong with this game, what I thought it was, what it ended up being. So basically, the symptoms, how I diagnosed it, and then how I actually fixed it. So stick around and we'll go through step by step.
I'm Walter Day, the father of esports, and you're watching Matty Mo's Arcade.
And you know, it's like whack-a-mole.
I'm getting ready to attack. Fanny pack attached. Tokens are all stacked. Got the mallet in my grasp. Waiting for the moles, hiding in their holes. Scoreboard keeping tally. I'll be playing till they close now. Can't nobody beat my high score. You can't beat my high score. Can't nobody beat my high score. You can't beat my high score. I'm a mallet master, a single-fisted blaster. You can ask my baby, it starts slow then gets faster. I'm a record setter.
First, I want to unplug the game, and then I get in the bottom and check the fuses for continuity. After I do that, I want to unplug the PCB from the AR2 power supply, and then I can start checking the voltages on it. We only need to worry about 12 volts, 5 volts, and negative 5 volts. We don't need to worry about the audio amp coming from the AR2 because it actually has it built onto the PCB. At first, when I turned on the game, the monitor looked a little psychedelic like this and this. And these are actually the greatest examples I can show you. It was actually much, much worse than that. But I did figure out what the problem was, and I'll show you here on the chassis. This is the video connection here, and this is plugged in the way that it was plugged in whenever I first started messing with it. And if you can see, the red is to the left, and it should be to the right. And you can also see that plug is not all the way on there, but it feels really snug when you put it on there. So I can see why the guy was fooled, or whoever it was before me. And I also was fooled because I just put it back in the same way that it was. I looked and said, okay, red is to the left, which normally I don't do. Well, I do that, but I also look at, there's like a little lip here, and that will always go towards this back white part that's there, that actually interlocks in there and actually becomes a big pain in the butt. But after I was able to figure out that the video connection was backwards, then we'll take a look and this is what happened. Turned it on just a second ago and it had psychedelic colors on it, but it could be just the tube. But I think I plugged it in right last time, so we'll see if we get anything. There's something. Okay, we do have red, so that's good. So I'm gonna try to adjust this a little bit. Looks like we still have this graphics glitch problem that we've had. So see the lines on the screen. You'll be able to see them here in a second. Let me find a better place for this. I'm gonna turn that light off. So I see the red here. Let's see if we can just turn the cabinet 90 degrees. Let's see if that'll go away. It did the other day. No. That's redder. I guess it kind of did go away a little bit. I don't know what's magnetizing this thing. I took everything out of it that had a magnet. Let's see what kind of adjustments we can get on here. Do this. I have to hold it. Okay, so that's the way it looked when I turned it on earlier. some red though. And there's the green. And the blue. But it's not really helping our image any because of, I think, the RAM. But I want to put it in test next. So with the video issue that we're having, it's lines kind of added to and missing from the background, not from the sprites. This is the PCB here. It would actually come this way. This is the CPU on top, and then and also the sound section here. And then we have the video board here. And hang on one second. And so with the lines going through the background, it's gonna be, I keep umming, it's gonna be the RAM, these 4 rows, I think, right here. Let's see. Dang. No, these 4 here. It ends right there with those ROMs, and these are different, I do believe. So it should be these 4. It's either these 4 or these 4, but I say it in the other videos whenever we get down to it. But those, yeah, maybe it is these 4. Let me look at it in the back. I can tell real fast because I can see what I worked on. Okay, I was right the first time. So it's these 4, and it is flush with those ROMs that are there. So those are your RAM. And what happened? What had happened was, I am awful at this. So where the board mounts in the cabinet, there's like this like spongy thing going on here, right in the middle, like right there. And the mice had climbed in and peed all over that, and it had soaked into that thing. And then so all of the solder joints that are kind of in that area right there and a little bit below it were all like really gross. I showed those, kind of went through and touched them up and found some traces that weren't all the way connected. It took several tries, but I eventually was able to get a really, really good image out of it. Just not all the way. We still had one line, but it looks really good. And I'll show you in this picture here. This is, if I can get it in right here and remind myself, this is like the best I've had it, I think. And I gotta practice not saying that. It's so aggravating. That is really good for this game so far, considering there was a totally dead monitor. We don't have any sound yet, and we still have this like 5-volt issue that may or may not have figured out, and by the end of this video I'm gonna know for sure. But this is the sound section over here. I'm running low on battery. This guy is the sound amp. It's not on the AR2, and it is a MB3713 is the part number on that. And that, so that means we don't need an audio, or we're not getting anything for an audio amp from the AR2, so it's not needed. So if you're having a problem with your AR2, this is a no-brainer on a switcher. You don't need it for audio. I just can't figure out my audio, and I think that's the problem. That'll be a later date. But let's set up. I'll go ahead and show you next what happened, because after I got down to one line of bad video, we still have more problems. So let's go ahead and watch that and check that out and then diagnose that. Well, it's getting better and better looking every day. If it wasn't frozen, we could play a game. But the monitors are looking a lot better. It's crisper, it's brighter. But I'm really sure that it's the edge connector. I just need to replace that part of the harness, and then I think we'll be fine. Because I can screw with it, it'll work for a little while. Sometimes it won't work at all. Sometimes it comes on and looks like this. Sometimes I walk away from it and it's playing just fine after it does this for 10 minutes. It's frustrating. I know it's not anything that's serious. I'll figure it out. It's just... Now the game's freezing sometimes. Sometimes it's playing. And eventually ends up quitting and won't play at all. Sometimes it'll come on, sometimes it won't. And then eventually nothing at all. And I trace it, you know, I check the voltages at the board and I'm getting 12 volts. And I'm not getting, no, I think I was getting, 12 volts and -5, but I was not getting +5. +5 comes out of the AR2 here. And so I checked here and I was not getting any +5 from this connector. I instantly assumed there's something wrong with this AR2. Probably went bad while, you know, we've been playing around with it. What I should have done is check to see if the AR2 is getting voltage. And it gets voltage here. It gets 10.3 volts. I think DC. Make sure. Yeah, 10.3 volts DC here. And then it goes through a voltage regulator, gets regulated down to 5 and out there. This side over here gets 36 volts AC. And it hits these 4 diodes here, which act as a rectifier. And then that changes it to 22 volts, 12 volts, and -5 volts. So our -5 and our 12 are coming from this side, and we're fine, but our 5 wasn't. And that was on this side, which I assumed was the AR2. And when I pulled it off, it also had the little urinal cake on the back and the you know, Disney castle built on the top of it with just latrining all over the back of the board. So we took care of the solder and stuff on that. This thing was working fine the whole time, even with all that grossness behind it. It definitely needed touched up on the solder, but everything was making connection, I guess, because it was working. Because I was able to put 10.3 volts straight to the test point, and then that would power up the game because it was going through the AR2 as it would normally through the voltage regulator and putting out the 5 volts. So after all that, I was able to determine that this was good. So then let me just go ahead and switch because I have it sitting right here. The next thing to look at is the power brick. And let me see, it was, yeah, it's this way in the game. So these are AC, I think. This one runs our different voltages out, the you know, our 5 and our 12 and all of that. The orange are actually, instead of 12 like they would be in most games, are 5. And these purple were ground. I can't remember for sure. I think the red was 10.3 and the yellow was, I can't remember exactly. But I know that the ones that were not making it through were the orange, and that was the 5 volts. So the 5 volts runs through a bridge rectifier, which is underneath here, and also the filter cap. Both are prone to go bad. So no matter what I did, I couldn't get either one of those to work, and I didn't pull it to test those two. But same thing, when I pulled this off from here, this came from this side of the big blue cap. And so I took these off and I fed my 10.3 volts here, and same thing, it went all the way through and powered the game just fine. But here's where it gets a little hairy. When I started making this video, I'm going to show you this next little clip, and it leads me to believe that this thing still works. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that right now, and then we'll come back. me see here. Ground is that one. Well, that should be reading it, and we don't have anything. Let's wiggle it around here. See if we're... Oh, see that? There's some fluctuation there. All right, so now we have 5.5 volts. So is that? And so as you can see, I grabbed something in here, and I'm thinking I bumped these orange wires down here, and all of a sudden the 5 volts came in. So here we are at the end of the night. I worked overnight last night. I wanted to have this video up or something up, you know, by 12 or 1 today. And I've changed it a couple times. But now I found this, and this is at the beginning of this video that we're filming right now. You guys have almost caught up to me real time. I was like, okay, I think this thing works, and I just need to wiggle the connectors. So now I've had to film this whole video and just wait until we get to this point. And now I think I'm going to, actually before we do this, I'm going to flip this over. Let's go ahead and test the bridge rectifier, and let's see if we can test, I'm not sure if my meter will, but let's see if we can test the big blue capacitor and see how they are. But I really have a feeling that it's probably one of these two stupid connectors over here. And this one's all burnt up looking anyway. But I can't just not know, and we might as well check it before the end of the video. I mean, come on. All right, so give me 1 second. We'll flip this thing over and we'll do some probing. Okay, so I checked the big blue capacitor. I forgot to, actually I hit record, but it didn't record. It was a little off, but it's a huge capacitor, and most of the time they're a little off anyway. And I don't know if my capacitor tester can be trusted, you testing one that's that big. But let's go ahead and trust. Let's go ahead and trust this one too. Let's go ahead and test this one, and I'll do my best to kind of explain how to do it. Usually, I look for the positive leg. Usually it's kind of offset from the others. Like say, you know, you'll look, one's right across from the other, except for one's just kind of offset in a goofy way, but that keeps you, you know, from putting it in backwards too, I guess. But you want to find your positive, which here it's marked, it's on this side. Directly across from it's going to be negative, and the other two are going to be AC. And you want to put your meter on diode test. You want to put your negative lead on your positive lug, and then test your two AC pins and AC legs, and they should come up just like you would test a diode. It's going to be, you know, 0.4 to 0.5 something, like 0.4 to 0.6, something like that if it's good. So let's see here, 0.4 and 0.4, so good that way. And then on the other side, you want to take positive to your negative and do the same thing. Let's see if we can get the lead out of the way here. Okay. I have that on the right. Oh, I have that on the wrong. Okay. Positive to negative. I have 0.4 and 0.5. So that's about what I expect it to be. So I think that it's fine for now. Obviously, the big blue needs to be changed because it's still blue and it is original. And I'm not real familiar with Atari cabinets, but I think it's possible that it takes crap out when it goes out, and I don't want that to happen regardless. So we're gonna change that. But if I can play it tonight, then I want to set it up and play it tonight. And I still want to figure out the sound issue. Is there sound? Have I been hooking it up wrong? I don't think so. Okay, but let's go ahead and I'm gonna hook this up, and I'm gonna actually put this whole thing back together right now real fast. It's not that hard, actually. Maybe not the art and everything like that, but we'll put the electronics back. Let's see if it works. Okay, I think it's actually going to come on. I forgot I do need to run an extension cord over here. Other than the extension cord, I think I just need to plug it in and turn it on. I found a spot right where I was thinking I had touched when I was looking for the 5 volts the original time, and I think that's all it was, is that spot there. Probably moving it around, I probably wiggled it free, but I am going to dim the lights and hopefully I have enough light down here to turn it on with. Fire in the hole! Fingers crossed. Ta-da! Oh. Not sure what that's all about. Maybe I should check my voltages. Oh, it looks beautiful. Except for it still has the little lines on it. Let me see if I can, there, you can kind of see it there. You can see it in the trees. I'm okay with that though. If and I can get this little droopiness, I can get that to go away. But I am going to order the RAM that I've got it dialed down to like 1 of 3 RAM, I think. But I'm definitely going to try to fix that still. But oh, that's awesome that it still works, because this is the original stuff. I wanted to fix it with almost all the original stuff. The only thing I did was rebuild the monitor. Oh, I have to have the coin door hooked up. Yeah. I thought I had dip switches set for it to be a free play. Maybe it was, I don't remember. Does it have a battery on it? I didn't think so. Anyway, give me a second here to cool off and we'll play a little bit to celebrate and we'll end this video on a high note. So apparently I didn't record. All I did was take a picture. I played a little bit of gameplay, so at least I'm gonna be a little warmed up now. Do we have any colors in here for you? So we don't have sound, but what I did was I pulled some up and it actually turned out where it kind of lined up a little bit. I'll wait till he starts it and then I'll start. It lined up kind of, he point pressed a little bit in the beginning and then I died a whole bunch, but we're gonna start over and try again, I guess. All right. Let's see how this. Maybe it's not the arcade port. That I don't know. Okay, what was I saying? I said all kinds of stuff, man. One thing I did mention is these like graphics lines that I'm having problems with. They are not in the normal arcade version, but I do notice the lines are there in the console ports and stuff like that. They're just really small and everything is way exaggerated at the moment, but they are there. And the other thing I was talking about, I mentioned this too, is that reminds me of the pinball machine. No, I can't think of the pinball machine's name because I'm trying to dodge stuff. Funhouse. Probably several pinball machines. I complained about this 8-way joystick right here in this very same spot. But you have to have it for this game. But ladders and 8-way joysticks suck. All right, on this level, you punch the monkeys in the head and knock them out of this stack here while you dodge the other monkey's apple core throwing. Now, I don't know what to do after I get rid of this stack. It kind of sounded like maybe it was this level. Okay. Oh. See, I wish it would just start with just the 3. One thing I was talking about was the next project. I want to get the next one started. It's not like a restore game like this, but we will have another one after this one. I'm going to do another bar top multicade, like I did the Star Wars one not too long ago for a customer. Only this one's going to be for me. It's going to be like just something I can take to parties, or like, oh damn, or family reunions or wedding receptions or anything like that, so people can kind of see what I can, not what I can do, what I do, and something fun for the kids to screw around on. Because without all the fun and smiles, what good and what fun is it to have this job and to know how to do this stuff? I don't know, just sit here and play in my room by myself. But yeah, I want to get that one started. I would have done Star Wars for myself, but the customer had chosen that one already. But I did choose a popular theme, I think. Maybe I should call Eugene and ask him about this line in the background. I pretty much know what RAM it is, and he's probably not going to know exactly which one without looking at the schematics too. But it's pretty pronounced there. And if you look at any normal arcade a track menu, it's solid. There might be some little bit of line in the trees and stuff, but not in the Kangaroo at all. Let's see if I can. I'm cheating and I'm trying to watch and see how he beats that level. I'll be a master in no time. But this one's, I was pretty close to knowing what was wrong with it. I just got fooled a couple times. It's really not that far off. We do a little bit of cosmetic stuff. And I want to do some work onto the board. Oh, come on. And the AR2, I want to change out, the big blue. And I wouldn't say bulletproof it, but get it as nice as we can, so it'll be a great game minus the cabinet, and the cabinet will just be like And then but Steve from Steve's Arcade wants to buy it. Oh, I stood up as I punched. I guess you have to. But yeah, he said he wants to buy it, so we might just let him have it and then move on to the next project. I want to get into one, maybe not so much of the particle board cabinet, one that we can do some woodworking and Bondo and stuff like that, but it's actually going to look pristine when we get done. I just want to, if I put in all that effort, I want to really be able to show it and be proud of it, and not put in a bunch of effort to make it look because that's what we're going to have to do. We can't make it look perfect because none of the cab is perfect. So we're kind of have to screw up on purpose, which is a horrible way to learn. Oh, I fell off. But I'll show you the artwork for the cabinet that I'm gonna do here. In 1 second, let me turn this off. I just did this just a second ago and we weren't recording. But I'll learn how to beat that level. We'll come back to that. Give me 1 second and we'll look at this art. All right, sorry about the fan. With the games on in here, it's getting really hot. So this is the cabinet. I actually just got it in the mail. And I'm gonna show my address to everybody. And here's the art in here, but I do need to kind of check out and make sure I got everything that's in here. This kit is already pre-cut for T-molding, and it has the little grooves and everything cut in it to make it super easy. So you can just put like the little IKEA furniture doodads in there. But that's the profile. I'm pretty sure that's the same. See, it looked a little thin there for a second, but I'm pretty sure maybe it was a little deeper than that. I'll have to look. It feels like it was a little deeper, but when it's all put together, it's probably a lot bigger. Okay, so there's our T-molding. Our sides. It has to be like that. Just turning it around. I'm like, well, maybe it goes like this. Go on, Callie. I'm not talking to you. This is probably just all of our hardware. Whenever I YouTube, both of the cats think I'm calling them to come in here because they know I'm in the room by myself. So they just constantly holler. And she could be in heat too. I don't know. It's not my cat. Okay, so we have all of our hinges and stuff. I actually have a set of these hinges left over from last time I used different hinges. There's nothing wrong with them. I go a different way with the back door, and I might on this one too if it's the same style wood, because their whole back door swings open, and I'm gonna put the bottom, just like an arcade game has the wiring and the utility and stuff is all gonna be there and stationary, and it can still have a swinging door. So we have our plexi all pre-cut, just how I ordered it. Everything is square there. We have more panels. Hey, where's all my joysticks and buttons? We got our marquee bracket. Okay, as I was saying before the camera rudely interrupted me. So we got our marquee brackets. It's got pretty much everything in here, cabinet wise. I did buy some rubber feet that I put underneath it to prop it up a little bit because it just sits on the bare wood in the back. And here's the back, like I was saying. See, the receptacle is right here in the middle of the back of the door. That's fine if you cut this off and just have this top swing, or however it is that they have it. They're planning on doing it. I'll have to read the instructions again. It might change with each kit. It usually does. The cocktails did a little bit. And I think that's it there. So it looks like we have everything. I'm assuming. I will double, triple, quadruple check. This is great. I really needed to make this mess right before I went to bed. But I did need to check and make sure this stuff was here. All right, now let me get this crap out of the way real fast, and let's take a look at the art. Set this stuff aside. I definitely think I'm going to go with a different color T-molding too. The black is a little plain. Let me see if I can find the marquee. Thought that would be the easiest. Okay, here we go. It's a little dark, but it looks good with the light coming through it. Let's get us a side here. Get the appropriate side. There we go. Yeah, I think this is the same size as I built it last time. And it fits. The last one fit just barely. Yeah, this one's fine. It fits fine. It just depends on, I'm gonna smush off a little bit of the turtles here at the bottom. Or you can fudge it. Actually, I can come up a lot there. Not too bad, not too bad. Just a little extra image all the way around, which I prefer. Actually, front to back, we are very much right on the nose. That must have been the problem I was having, was front to back. They gave us just another 1/4 inch would be good. But I figure Turtles was a good theme. I think there's another cartoon or movie or something coming out soon. I don't remember what I heard, but I figured this would be a good theme, and it would probably sell a little faster than The Simpsons. I think The Simpsons is dated to our age group. Here's the control panel overlay. We just have 2 players. Other side here. And the art was, I think $49.99 or $59.99, and the whole kit and caboodle cabinet package was $159, and that's all, you know, plus tax and shipping and all that stuff. That's all pre-fees and all that. But it's, you know, $225, $250 tops just to get the basics without any wiring or joysticks or anything. But anyway, stay tuned. This will be the next video. I'm probably just going to put it together and put the art on it all in one video, and then I can set it aside until I get some more parts in. I can put it together now, but I don't have the final pieces. I don't have the exact joysticks and the exact buttons I want to use, stuff like that. But yeah, thanks for watching. Glad we got the Kangaroo figured out, and so like I said, we'll do some cosmetic work on it, and it will probably land right there where that chair is, and I'll have to move my Grateful Dead poster, but that's what we're gonna go with. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Hold the phone. We have to come back before we end this video. Wait until you see this Jefferson County redneck engineering. So as you can see, here is this busted up connector. And when I went to repin it, or to put a new connector on it after we ended our little video. Let me see if I can get this sucker out of here. And put it back in for effect. Okay, that's it here. Okay, so this fuse must have been blowing. And so they just made one. The cat wasn't even on it. I'm like, maybe that was a fuse at one point in time. But that was run kind of like that. And that was our culprit there for not getting our 10.3 volts, not 5 volts. It was 10.3 to the AR2 over here. So I know I say it all the time, but it was just a fuse. Who'd have thought? So these 2 right here are going to be ground and 5 volts. So what do we get here? Did I not turn the game on? I didn't turn the game on. I guess that would help. Hang on.
Here it is. A nice little trade. The person I traded got what they wanted. I got what I wanted. And a pretty good deal on it too. Super hang on.
Get what I want.
That comes later.
Yeah.
Okay. It's on fire.
What happened? Whoa.
Lots of smoke.
Well, that's bad.
Yeah, well, thanks for watching.
When you take care of people, people take care of you in this community.
That's the truth.
So everyone, please remember that. Even if we're competitors, we're not enemies.